Hi everybody, welcome to Vanessa's van life journey. I just got off a live and I'm sitting here in the van and I was scrolling through my channel and looking at some titles of some videos and I got sad. And I started to think about several people that I have lost this year, during this time of the pandemic and so much going on in our world. I had a friend that you guys used to hear on the channel. I really didn't show him. You guys may have seen his arm or, something before and you heard his voice, but I can't remember if I ever showed his face on YouTube. I referred to him as the old man. That's what I called him in real life. I never called him by his real name. I always called him old man. He never called me by my real name. It was odd. We never called each other by our real names. But as you guys knew, I was really fond of my old man friend. I had known him for years, and he passed away several months ago. I did not let you guys know at the time when he passed away that he passed away. I pretty much wanted to grieve in silence and grieve in privacy, and I miss him. I miss the camaraderie that we had. I miss going to his house and checking on him. I got a chance to talk to him the day before he passed away. I got to tell him that I loved him, and that still doesn't change the fact that even if you know somebody's going and they're not going to be here, that doesn't change the fact that it's going to hurt and you're going to miss them. Like, some days I think it's a dream. Some days I feel like it's a joke. One minute he was here. One minute he was up and at it. One minute he was talking his noise with all his little sayings. And now there is silence. I remember for Christmas, on my birthday, I called him. And I was like, "What you doing?" And I ended up bringing him a plate. Remember, I did the seafood ball on my birthday. I ended up taking him a plate of seafood over there, girl. I fixed that seafood up. And I brought him a plate of regular food my friend had cooked. And I warmed up the seafood, y'all. I peeled the king crab. And that was his first time, I think, having king crab. And he tore that king crab up. And the same way with my sister, I just think about the happy memories. I think about the crazy things he used to say. I think about how he used to make me laugh. I think about the crazy things I used to tell him, and he wasn't the type of person that laugh out loud like me. But he would get this little smirk on his face, and you knew that he thought it was funny. So I knew he loved my sense of humor, but he wouldn't laugh out loud like I laugh out loud. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because you guys are my family. You guys love me. And you guys love who I love. And I know some of you are wondering why I haven't been going over to the old man's house in quite some time. And I would never go over to his house again. I would never see him again. And that's because he's not here anymore. He still holds, he's here with me. Like, he's here with me. He here with me. I appreciate God for allowing me the time that I had with him in my life. I appreciate God for the crazy. I'm about to start crying. It's nothing at the nose, y'all. I appreciate the crazy sense of humor. Like, he had a little saying for everything. And I knew all his little sayings. And I would use his little sayings on him sometimes. He'd be like, dang, why I taught her that? Because I would use all his little sayings on him. And, you know, like I said, I talked to him the day before he passed away. I was crying and gasping for air. I was releasing him to go and be with his Father in heaven. I even told him, you can go. You can go be with your Father in heaven. I'm going to be okay. I let him know that I loved him and thanked him for the things that he did for me, for looking out for me, for putting up with me. Because let's face it and tell the truth and shame the devil. I guess I could be a lot to put up with. But I thanked God for him. And I miss him, y'all. I miss him. You know, nobody will understand your friendships with people. Nobody will understand them. But it's like an unspoken understanding between you and that person. And I think we had an unspoken understanding. And I know that he knew that I loved him, even though he wasn't the type of person to tell you that he loved you. But he did tell me one time, he did tell me, well, I was like, oh, Lord, let me pull out my recording and get this down. I was like, what? This man just told me. But, you know, he wasn't the type of person to tell you that he loved you. And when I would tell him that I loved him, he would just be, well, I'm glad somebody loved me. So I just want to let you guys know to love people while they're here. Be kind to them while they're here. Pray for them while they're here. And just try to be the best person that you could be to them. And when they gone, if they go before you, because you never know, you might go before them. I know sometimes when we would talk about death, because we talk about death quite often, sometimes when we would talk about death, and if I said I was going to go before him, or he said he was going to go before me, he would just say, one never knows, does one? And to me, I expected him to live, even though he was a older man. To me, I expected him to live to be 106, 112, 124. Because for his age, he was up. He was in his right mind. He was active. He was still doing things. So to me, I think, I was caught off guard with his death. For me, I was caught off guard. But I miss him. I loved him. And I'm always going to have fond memories of him. And just like everybody else that I loved, and they're not here anymore, I hold them in my heart. I have little pieces of him in the van. I have things that he gave me. Sometimes I will I would call him. Like after the people stole the van, I had 2 or 3 propane tanks in the van when they stole it. And after they stole my van, I didn't have any more propane tanks. But when I needed another propane tank, I called them and say, you got a propane tank? He gave me the keys to his garage and told me, go out there and just get whatever you need. He said, if you need 3 or 4 propane tanks, go out there and get them. And he had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, 10 propane tanks. So whatever I needed, he had it. When I needed the ladder, he gave me that little short ladder on top of my van. He had gave me a bigger ladder too, a 6-foot ladder, but I never did get it. He allowed me to keep a couple of furniture items at his house that I didn't want to get rid of. He allowed me to keep my tools over there. And I thank God for my friend. I appreciated my friend. And I loved my friend. And I miss him. Sometimes I think about him and I just start crying. But God chooses when people are born. They don't ask to be born. God chooses when people are born. And God chooses the day that we are no longer going to be here. We are all here for a season. We are all here for a reason. And we just have to appreciate and love people while we're here. And we have to enjoy them and enjoy our life while we're here. I'm glad that I have a couple of regrets, but I'm glad he seen me work on the van and build the van. When I finished the van, he would come and he would stick his head in, but I never let him completely come in and walk in, because I was always saying, let me clean it up. I want you to see it when it's fully straightened up, and I wanted it to be pretty. And I always had junk in my van when I was coming from the food pantry, and I just never, even a couple of days when I did have it clean, I didn't think to let him see it. But he stuck his head in and he looked at everything and he seen everything. But I never let him come in and sit down. And that's one regret that I have. I wish I would have let him come in and sit down in it. But other than that, I have released him over to God. I released him over to God when I talked to him for the last time. I let him know that I loved him. I let him know that I appreciated him. And it's nothing else left to be said. You know, you love people while they're here, and when they're gone, it's nothing else that you could say or do. You have to give people their roses while they're alive. And I know I did that. I know that I let him know that I loved him while he was alive. I know that I went to visit him and check on him while he was alive. And I know that I let him know that I appreciate him for whatever he did for me when he was alive. And so I'm at peace. But that still doesn't change the fact that you miss a person. So I just wanted to update you guys that my friend, the old man, that I used to just say the old man, he is no longer with us. And I have a couple of other friends that passed away this year. I have a couple of other male friends that I would talk about on the channel, but y'all would never actually see. I have a couple of other friends who have lost family members this year, and a couple of other people, a couple of females that passed away this year, a couple of males that passed away this year. So I have grieved the loss of people in silence. I didn't acknowledge that to you guys. I didn't tell you anything. If you see me sad some days and you see me crying some days, it was probably because I was dealing with the loss of someone at that moment. I just wanted to grieve in silence. One day I did come on here and tell y'all that I lost somebody. I'm getting chills right now. I'm just gonna end this video because I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm gonna end this video. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And just live life and enjoy life. Be kind to people, because you never know when the last time you will see them. I didn't expect my friend to be gone. Not this year. Not next year. I expected him to be here at least another 10 years. I used to tell him he was gonna outlive me. I used to tell him he was gonna outlive his kids, because he was just a healthy man with some good genes. Anyway, you guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. He wanna become a Vanlife bird. Anybody do Vanlife that have a bird? This dog is just running up to me. What does she want? What do you want? Stop! I could sit here all day, you guys. Beautiful. Say hey. Say hey. Hey. What you doing, Vanessa?